The best nightclubs in Vegas: Voodoo, Apex Social Club, Heart Bar, Click, and Skyfall. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. Y'all have a great day. What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to talk about the best nightclubs in Las Vegas for 2021. Now, as of June 1st, Vegas is wide open, 100%, no restrictions for occupancy. The headline artists have already made their residencies and are on the calendars at the nightclubs, so it's time that we do this 2021 nightclub update. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we dive into today's video, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button to join the TVP fam and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any content that's uploaded to the channel. Let me put this disclaimer out here first that this
video is for educational and informative purposes only.
If you are a Vegas expert or very knowledgeable about Vegas, drop your comments below and let me know what you think about this list. If you've never been to Vegas, sit back and relax and take notes because I'm about to give you an inside look in the nightlife scene. Now, Vegas is home to some of the best nightclubs in the world. Your favorite artists and DJs from across the world all come to Las Vegas to perform consistently. And so when we talk about these best nightclubs in Vegas, we'll be referencing the clubs where you can find your favorite artist or DJ. Now, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the top nightclubs. I'll also break down what clubs play what types of music, and then I will give alternatives for those who might not necessarily want to go to a full nightclub experience and want more of a lounge experience. I'll break those down as well, and then at the very end, I will give my tips and suggestions for guys and ladies when it comes to getting into Vegas clubs. So let's start with my top 5 best nightclubs in Vegas overall. My top 5 nightclubs in Vegas are Dre's at the Cromwell, Excess at Wynn/Encore, Omnia at Caesars Palace, Marquee at the Cosmopolitan, and Hakkasan at MGM Grand. Now let me give a quick breakdown on all of these clubs. Dre's is the best hip hop club in all of Vegas, period, hands down, no debate. The artist lineup speaks for itself. The venue speaks for itself. One thing about Dre's is it is a hip hop club. They strictly play hip hop. But Dre's has their main club, which is at the top of the Cromwell. They also have an after hours club, which is a continue all hip hop edition, which is also like a basement party at the very bottom of the hotel. After hours, it normally pops off between 1 or 2 a.m., but it typically died down between 6 or 7 a.m. Now, when it comes to Excess is a beautiful club. They play mainly top 40 EDM, house music, those genres of music. You've got an inside and an outside. It's got a big pool outside. Normally on Sundays, they have a night swim, so you can party in the club, or you can actually hop in the pool and have a night swim. Omnia is arguably top 2 when it comes to best clubs in Las Vegas. Steve Aoki is like the headline artist that performs at Omnia. Omnia is beautiful because they have 3 different parts of the club. You've got the main room with the classic chandelier. You also have a separate room, which is like in the secondary level for hip hop. And then they also have an outside terrace, which on some nights, that's the only part of the club that is open. Marquee, as everybody know, Cosmopolitan is my favorite hotel, and Marquee is the signature club at this hotel. And they also have a dual club inside, so their main room normally plays top 40 EDM. Obviously, this music can change depending on the artist that's performing, but their standard music is top 40 EDM house music. But they also have a separate room that plays strictly hip-hop. And of course, at Hakkasan, it's the exact same thing. Hakkasan has a lot of top artists that perform there, and their main room is top 40 EDM. They do also have a secondary club where you can listen to hip-hop. Let's talk about clubs that play hip-hop. So for all of you who love hip hop and want to listen to hip hop heavy music, or listen to hip hop for the majority of all of your night, your clubs you're going to want to go to for hip hop are Dre's at the Cromwell, Tower at the Venetian, Light at Mandalay Bay, which currently right now is operating as Daylight at night at their pool party, Chateau at Paris, and then Jewel at Aria. Now, I will mention this about Jewel and Chateau. Depending on the DJ who's playing at night, they do play hip hop, but you also might get a little mix of EDM house music, depending on who's DJing for the night. But majority of the time, these clubs are hip hop specific clubs, but that can also vary by DJ. But when it comes to Dre's, as I mentioned, that is the best hip hop club. They are hip hop all night. Same thing for Tao and Daylight at Mandalay Bay. Now, for those of you that want to strictly listen to top 40 EDM house music, those genres of music for the duration of your party night, for my top 5 clubs as I described, those are the main genres of music, and those are the places that you're going to want to go. Again, that'll be Excess at Encore, Omnia at Caesar's Palace, Marquee at the Cosmopolitan, and Hakkasan at the MGM Grand. These are 4 of my top 5 clubs in all of Vegas, and they are my top 4 of my top 5 for a reason. So those are the clubs that you're going to want to go to. Those are your music preferences. Those are where your big favorite artists are going to be that plays those genres of music. So those are the places that you should go. Now, for those of you that just want to go out and have a good time and don't necessarily want to go to a full nightclub, but just want to go out and be around some people and vibe, Foundation Room at Mandalay Bay and the Skyfall at the Delano, as I've been corrected of recent. Those are really good places to go out and hang out and listen to good music, have a good time, be around good people, get some drinks. You'll get great views at those lounges. And hookah lounges are also another alternative that I've recommended to people because they've almost turned into a nightclub feel nowadays. You will have a DJ. Some of the popular hookah lounges that I always recommend are Luna, which is down by Encore, which is a bit off the strip. But those are some good alternatives for people who actually want to go out and have a good time. Also, Resorts World will be opening on June the 24th. They do have a nightclub called Zouk, which will be their main nightclub inside of Resorts World. Once they open, I'll go and check it out, get a feel for myself to see what it's like. But I know they have Tiesto and Zed as like resident artists there. Alright, now let me give some tips and suggestions for the guys and the ladies when it comes to the nightlife in Las Vegas, because it is a completely different experience in Vegas than it may be in your local city. Let me start with the guys first, because as I've said for years with making these nightclubs and pool party videos, Vegas does not like guys. Vegas does not like guys. Vegas is not your friend when it comes to the nightlife industry if you are a guy, and it's very unfortunate, but I'll give you some reasons why, and I'll give you some tips on how to carry yourself when it comes to these nightclubs. The first rule of thumb, dress to impress. You don't have to be suited up. You don't have to have on a full tuxedo. Like, it's not that serious, but you definitely want to make sure you have on a collared shirt, jeans are okay, and make sure you have on some dress shoes. The better you dress, the more of a respect that you'll get, not only from the ladies, because we know that we want to look fly and look good for the ladies, but the staffing at the nightclub. Your first impression is everything. That's just how it is in life. But especially as a guy, when the staff look at you, the first thing they do is look at you just to see how you carry yourself, just to see if there's going to be any type of bad vibes that come from you before you even get in the club. It sucks, but that's just what it is. Now, guest list is one of my biggest reasons why I say that Vegas doesn't like guys, because guest list for men is typically an even ratio. So for every guy in your group, you'll need a girl to get in, but it's not the same for ladies, which I'll get in when I get to the lady segment. But if you've got a group of guys, there are a couple of guest lists in clubs that will be open to all guys and all girls, but they're very, very few and far in between. So if you're planning to go to Vegas with a group of guys, scavenge around the city, find some girls and around the city, ask them if they want to get on the guest list. You can go in with them and let them go about their business. Otherwise, if you don't get on guest lists, it will be general admission for guys, which can be expensive depending on where you're going and what type or what night you're actually going and who's performing at what club you want to go to. Now listen, this is more important for guys than girls especially, but please control your alcohol, and you don't have to be tough. If you drinking, which you probably will, because we all in Vegas partying, turning up, having a good time. So by the time the nightlife clock gets here, you probably drunk, lit, having a good time on the highest of vibes. But when you're in line to get into these clubs, make sure that you can control your alcohol, that you're coherent enough to know that you're either on the guest list or you're paying to get in, that you can give them your ID, you can empty your pockets. Please control your alcohol, at least till you get inside. Then once you get inside, you can be drunk, lit, loose, turn up, and go crazy. But please control your alcohol. And I say don't be tough because, you know, as a guy, sometimes, you know, somebody might bump you the wrong way or somebody might look at you a certain way. But Vegas isn't that type of place where people want to carry themselves. Everybody in Vegas is trying to have a good time. So let your guard down, put a little smile on your face, do a little rock, and have a good time. But controlling your alcohol and not trying to be tough are two important critical factors for guys when it comes to the nightlife scene, because staff and security will kick you out. And my last tip for guys is consider bottle service. Bottle service in Vegas, the most is considered expensive or very expensive, and it can be, depending on where you're going, what night you're going, and what kind of booth or table you're trying to get. But if you've got a group of guys, let's say it's 4 or 5 of you, and you all might have to pay 40 or 50 each to get in, you're talking about $200 to $250 just to get into the club. Drinks in Vegas are about $15 to $20 on average. So once you factor all of that in between what you're going to pay to get in, how much you're going to spend, you can get bottle service, depending on where you go, between $300 and $600 and up from there. Again, of course, that depends on the venue and if somebody that's a headline artist is performing. That always can change, but there are places where you can start bottle service at $300. Chateau is a prime example of that, and $600 on up, depending on where you're going, is the average for table service at the clubs. But consider that you'll have your own bottle, you'll have your own area for the whole night, you have your own security, you'll have your own bottle girl, so you don't have to worry about going up to the bar and getting drinks and all of that. And if some of y'all trying to scope out some of the ladies, trust me, having bottle service, that's going to be your biggest wingman for the night. Now moving on over to my ladies, as I've also said when it comes to this, ladies run Vegas. When it comes to the nightlife scene in Vegas, it's the ladies' world. Guest list is always free. Doesn't matter who's performing, doesn't matter what club you're going to, guest list is just always free. If there's an open guest list, ladies are free. And a lot of the times, not only is guest list free for ladies, the earlier ladies get there, they might have an open bar special, which is typically from either 10:30 to 11:30 or 10:30 to 12:30, depending on which club you're going to. Guys will never have that access, which is just very unfortunate. But ladies, yeah, y'all run Vegas, so same thing with you all. My tips for the ladies: number one, dress to impress. Now obviously you want to look your best. I don't really have to tell many of you that, because most of you ladies get dressed up and dolled up and look good when y'all go out anyway. But the nicer you look, the better time you'll probably have. Most of the times, if you've got a nice group of ladies, if you're on guest list, they will offer you open bar. Sometimes you might get invited to a table. It's just as a courtesy for being a lady, which once again, guys don't have the luxury of. But of course, the nicer you look, the better your chances will be for that. But at the same time, it is Vegas, and I'm sure ladies are going to want to mingle with guys just as much as the guys are going to mingle with ladies. So, and as I just mentioned earlier, guest list is free for ladies. If for some reason you aren't on the guest list, general admission tickets are always cheaper for females than it is for males, which once again just doesn't work for guys. But most of the time, or 99% of the time, ladies can get on guest lists. There have been some one-off situations, which is why I won't say 100% of the time. The only thing that ladies may have to worry about with guest lists is how early you may have to arrive to the club, because depending on which club you're going to or who's performing and how packed they think the venue will be, sometimes you will have to arrive earlier, or they'll start charging ladies and guys at a certain point. But as I always tell you all, hit me up on Instagram, DM me, reach out to me. I have connections with promoters. I work with them. I'm cool with them. I can get you all on the guest list. Now, alcohol, ladies, this applies to y'all too. Please control your alcohol. I can't tell y'all how many times I've seen girls get wheelchaired out of the club, security having to help girls get out of the club, girls break a heel because they've been drinking and they stumbled and have ended up on somebody's Instagram and Snap stories because it was just a whole mess. But y'all gonna get so many privileges just for being ladies in Vegas all throughout the city. So control your tolerance, please, and have a good time. But same thing with you all when it comes to getting to the club. You will need to be coherent, at least to let them know whose name is on the guest list, or if y'all have access to a table, whose name is on the table, and then that y'all can give them y'all IDs and let them check y'all purses. Same thing, control yourself so you can at least get in the club and then turn up and go crazy from there. So hopefully this video has been helpful for all of you who are going to Vegas and have been trying to figure out where to party or trying to get an update on what's going on with guest lists. As I've always said, if you're going to Vegas, please hit me up. If you're trying to get into the nightlife, hit me up on Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram. Send me an email. My email will be in the description of the video. If you want to message me on Facebook, you can. But the best way to get in contact with me for guest lists is Instagram, DM me, or send me an email, and I will definitely help you. I know how to get any and everybody on the guest list if you are eligible for guest list. But that's gonna do it for this video. Comment below, let me know what you all thought about this video. Was I spot on with this list? Did I miss a couple of things for those of you who have been to Vegas? And for everyone else, if you enjoyed this video and found this video, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and as always, thanks for watching.